Good morning all, 507 UTC London. Great price action yesterday. Number one, going back onto the weekly, what's very important here is this high, okay, 2149. So guys, please take this take this information, draw it on if you already haven't. We had the fib yesterday, ABC, D extension 2206, 2207. But what we can see now is yesterday the actual weekly high wasn't taken out. As you can see, 2195, 2194. We opened, made a spike into the highs, and then we rolled around. We haven't yet breached or touched 2149.3 or 2148.17. This is like a medium range around 10 pips. We haven't touched it exactly. So this is what can happen. We can push through, we can retest, and then we can push into the highs. Or by the end of the week, just to let you know, market can conclude an overall bearish momentum potential, okay, and close below and then force back to the downside. Okay, they're the two extremes. Yesterday I did mention, as we were trading above the 50% of the volume from here to here, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, now Wednesday, I did mention that we could look for potential downturn if we close below the level. What's very important here, my friends, is this. The low of Friday was taken out, but we closed back above. This could tell us that we took out the lows of Friday. We also came into the high here. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The Wednesday high, as you can see with the crosshair is, we also spiked into that. So what can happen now? We could start to push back above on the daily time frame and retract and retrace above these areas. So we could take out here, we could also take out here, and then also we already have the high of the volume area 2195.46 already drawn on, and that can stay there. I did mention that overall, if we do take out this smaller boundary, we could run into, my friends, I'll take that away for a second, we could start to run into the lows here. Okay, put that back on. Lows being 2122, 2127. So let's see how that one runs. Now, coming into the smaller time frames, let's start with the 90 minute, okay? 90 minute yesterday, we were looking pretty decent. Okay, let's remove this. We had the highs here, we stamped through the highs, retrace, stamped through the highs again by 1 or 2 pips. Started to roll. We had supportive area at the 50% right there. 2 lines there. 50% right there, my friends. And then what happened was we spiked below, spiked to the upside, this, that, and the other. If you really wanted to, and could view up at the high there, and this could show us a demographic, so to speak, of where the price was longing towards, this, that, and the other. Price dumped into one of our main contenders, okay, which was one of the highs at 4 a.m., an Asian high. Bang, came through, we test again, but we also came back into that level. So what we can see now is not only did we come into the, again, let's have a look at the 4 hour. Not only did we run into step 1, step 2, and step 3, but now we're more or less wedged in between the lower end, 2154, and we're wedged in between 2161. 2 hourly, not too much going on there. I know some of you guys have got some drawings on the 2 hour, H2. By all means, there is some nice preference here. A lower end, there's some nice preference here too. I can say 1 and 2, okay, right there where we've already tapped into. So I'm going to save that because that's looking relatively decent. I will step out back onto the 90 for a second, and what I can potentially suggest, guys, because what we've seen on the daily, see here, what we can see a push back to the upside. The weekly, we can push back to the upside. Now, with that being said, ultimately overall we need to step above this area 2161. Now, if you go into a smaller time frame, let's have a look at the 30 minute and 15 minute. What we can see here, cross reference, we got a nice bridgeway the New York high there and then there. So what happened is the New York high was made, the New York high was then spiked through just after MY, and we pushed down, bearish momentum, spiked through. So this is what's really important here. You know what, I'm just going to change. This is important, my friends, that New York low. then we spiked through, came back above. What we need to see, okay, for the upside to continue certain areas of momentum, there's two variables here. Just that. What we need to see, my friends, is, so we have the Asia low, we need a push above, we need a retest into this area, the small box area, which I've just drawn on, because it's also coinciding 50% with the high here. We need to push above here, retest, and then we're going to start to shoot to the sky. So areas to test our bullish abbreviation, so to speak, are going to be A, B, C. We come above here, we're going to tap here, and then we're going to start to run. Now, with that being said, let's look at the 90 just on this time frame, sorry, on this charting for a second, and we could start to push up, and then we can start to take all of these areas out and even mark in the high. Go into the 15-minute time frame. If we do not take out this area, and we call a bluff and come back to the downside, then guess what? We're going to actually shoot to the lower end areas. So right now, I wouldn't say it's 50-50. I feel the bullish side of the things hold the most momentum and cause for a step back concern, because we need to just push above. See here where the cross arrow is 2162, so we need to push above, retest, and then we're going to shoot. But for now, unless if we stick below that, so we've got one test here, okay, if we stick below that, guys, we can actually flop from this level and it could give us a nice sell-off. Going into pound yesterday, so what we've seen was on the weekly, stab into the 50%, about to roll over. Over here as well, that's the 50 drawn on there, marked with, okay, I'm going to take, yeah, I'll take them off for now because I can see those from a mile away. And then we can go in here, we're in here, okay, you can see that there. And then what we can also see as a potential is the daily high here, in which we spiked into yesterday, but we also cleared out this lower end volume area. So we had one tap, and then we had the tap through and break. Now if you just look at this and then look at this, could we get the same, a spike through and then, you know, the closure to the upside? Who knows yet. So GU, we are tapping one, tapping two areas of concern, but at the same time we've closed out of the box region on the daily there. So I'm gonna keep that one to a side. On the 90, easy work, very, very easy work. 1, 2 suggestions. We stayed in the area, 50-50, broke through. Oh, we don't really need that on anymore. What else we put on here? I will go in with this being a huge place of concern. Okay, more or less end of day, really end of day, overlap. What's this? This is 11:30 p.m. London. And then what we've seen yesterday, it was spiking, spike through, and then we're going to get a roll over here also. So the rollover can come through, push down. Lower end time frames. What you can see here is unfolded into London, pre-London. MY made a short decision to go. Let me just bring this across to MY because that's quite good on the infiltration. And then what we can see here right now is we're actually above and beyond MY high. So the Asia low is on the MY high right now, and it's kind of what we're looking at. Ideally we would like to come back into 2760s. See here, 2760s back into MY low, but we'll see. So GU for me, preferred point of call is short into here and into here, and then my preferred point of call for gold is we need to wait until LDN. We'll wait until London, but I've gave you all of the thesis for that as well. So let's see how this plays out.